guys enjoy this video, remember that you guys should subscribe, ring that notification bell, and follow me over on social media. You can also join the public CalPals community Discord server in order to chat with me and the other members. If you want to get some awesome rewards and support us directly, take a look at our Patreon. Some of these rewards include early access to all of our videos, from reactions to discussions, as well as being able to have us react or discuss whatever ship, theory, or topic that you want. Now, on to the video. Alright, kiddos, so today we're gonna talk about Ariel. And so I guess, this is, it's very interesting for me because, first of all, I wasn't here, so I was just, viewing things from afar. But the second thing is, for someone that's grown up with sort of musical theater, I don't understand the big deal about the actress being black. And so that's where I'm sort of I see that people are sending hate, so I'm not ignoring it. I see that people are doing that, but I couldn't fathom complaining about that, is what I'm trying to say, because, musicals have colorblind casting unless, people's skin color are relevant to the story. So for Aladdin, right, the genie was black because that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? The genie's the genie, but they sort of had people that were, of the race that Aladdin and Jasmine were sort of supposed to be. That makes sense. But for other musicals, like Hamilton, for example, it is supposed to be colorblind casting, except for King George, because obviously King George is King George. You know what I mean? And all of that stuff. And so it's one of those things where in the musical side of things, Disney and other musicals really don't, obviously I'm not going to say they don't care, because obviously it's still hard, for, actors, actors of color, I guess I'll say, to get certain roles, but, I guess in the new wave of shows like Hamilton, right, it's sort of becoming more of a thing where if the race doesn't matter to the story,
it's postmodern,
then, you know what I mean, it doesn't matter which actor plays. Even in Frozen, Kristoff was played by a black actor, right, in the Frozen
musical. Which is odd,
musical.
because the movie was, incredibly white.
Well, it just sort of shows, Disney, especially on Broadway, does not give a fuck. They'll just cast whoever they think, has a good voice for the character, and I think the guy does a really good job playing Kristoff. Right, it's sort of only for, I guess, the roles which are sort of for branding reasons. They kept Elsa and Anna, white, but, Kristoff,
also, it's the argument that, with maybe, with the movies, you get a broader crowd, maybe a less, cosmopolitan crowd, who are less aware of, colorblind casting. And
and so, for Broadway, I think it's just a different scene.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I just went, so when I saw this, I was just what? I don't care, whatever, sure. And I listened to her voice. She has an amazing voice, and that's the most important thing, right? Because Emma Watson, to me, is very Belle. She looks very Belle. She can't sing for shit, guys, okay? And I don't mean to drag her. I love her so much, and I obviously I watched a couple of the Harry Potter movies. I have liked movies that she is in, but they had to really auto-tune her, even though they trained her, right? So the most important thing when you're doing a musical is to have an actor that can sing, okay? And so that's that's the first thing to focus on, right? And so, when I saw her, I was just okay, but can she sing, though? And she can sing. I listened to her sing. Her voice is beautiful. And so, it's sort of also funny when, and this is more, I guess, in the anime scene, when Death Note came to, Netflix and all that stuff, people were complaining about the whitewashing, and people were oh, well, it doesn't matter the story's set in America, all that, you know what I mean? And so when it's the other way around, when sort of, in anime particularly, when Asian characters get, whitewashed, everybody's oh, no, it doesn't matter, it's okay to make them white, but you make Ariel black, and now, all of these people are going crazy online.
It makes more sense because, the original Little Mermaid was a Danish fairy tale.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, but all of the music in The Little Mermaid is Calypso.
I mean, Sebastian has the Jamaican accent, right? And
so it would be, I don't know what Denmarkian music sounds like, Danish music sounds
These
like.
are international waters,
really
kids,
wasn't this.
Alright? You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know, that part just surprises me, because for me, I'm just I'm coming from that musical mindset of I don't give a shit, okay, as long as they can sing, that's the most important thing that matters. The next thing would be, should they keep iconic things from the character, like her red hair? Yeah, but people are acting like black people can't have red hair, or can't dye their hair red, and
but
so
it's also mermaids don't exist either, so if you can believe in mermaids, certainly you can believe that black people have red hair.
I don't remember anybody having super crazy hair in The Little Mermaid in terms of different hair colors, but you know, I'm sure that there were some mermaids with unnatural sort of hair colors, like blue hair. You know, just that I
also they're unnatural in that they're
Ariel's.
humans with
yeah,
tails.
there's that too. I just mean like in terms of the universe, if you want to call it that. I'm gonna look up Ariel's sisters real quick just to see.
I genuinely wasn't surprised by the choice to have.
Yeah, so they all have like
Ariel.
they all have like you know, regular human colored hair.
Which red is also a regular human color.
Yeah, but not that red like Ariel has.
That's
a little unrealistic. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. Nobody has red hair like Ariel, right? She's a mermaid, okay? It's allowed. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so that's sort of the other thing. But I know you.
I wasn't surprised that they made Ariel a black woman, because the trend I've noticed with the live action Disney remakes is that they take something about the original that it wasn't always necessarily that it was problematic, but something that they could change for a newer audience, and they changed that thing. Like with the Beauty and the Beast, they added more like distinctively of the time, as in of our time, feminist angles, and that like people were mad at Belle that she was teaching other people how to read, other women how to read.
And stuff
or
like
they changed things about how people would always nitpick parts of the plot.
They even made like Emma Watson. They even made Belle more like the inventor, like her father. They made her invent stuff and sort of have things like that.
With the Jungle Book, they made like, oh, what if the lion character or the tiger character was right and Mowgli was dangerous because people are dangerous. They changed stuff about Aladdin that they made Jasmine a more interesting character, that like, okay, what if she was actually, everyone's looking for a prince, but like, what if she's a capable ruler?
Yeah.
And they've all been relatively interesting to like, they've been better or worse.
And I think with Jasmine, like, and so here's what I'll say about the like Aladdin and sort of, you know, not necessarily, well, Little Mermaid I guess we'll get to, but with Aladdin, it's like, you see in the TV show, she was always sort of, like, they, you know, sort of have her take that certain role, like, she's at the school, like, teaching children and trying to fix, like, you know, the poverty crisis, like, she's just trying to do all this stuff in the TV show, and so that doesn't come as a surprise for hardcore, you know, Disney fans, if you want to call it that, like, hardcore Disney fans. But, you know, it was something that wasn't necessarily in the original movie, maybe even for time, just because those movies are short. Like, if you go back and watch them compared to, like, Zootopia or, like, you know, even Frozen, like,
none of them even, like, approached 2 hours.
I know.
And I've heard some people say that, because there's also, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but they talked about having Melissa McCarthy play Ursula. And so some people thought, like, after they learned, people were like, I don't know about Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, but I've seen some people, prominently a black woman, being like, oh, okay, so an evil white woman takes the voice away from a black girl. I see what you're doing here, Disney. And they kind of agree with it.
I think it's also like Ursula was based off of a drag queen, and so I'm just sort of like, like, I would like them to sort of go more, like, it would be nice to have, like...
People thought Billy Porter... Have
you
Billy Porter play Ursula?
But that isn't confirmed, right? It's just a rumor.
I think she's in talks. Like, it's official that she's in talks.
Because I would like them to try and go for like a drag queen, especially a more sort of, you know who I'm thinking of. Who? Unfortunately, like, just in my head, I don't think Bianca Del Rio can sing. But imagine her.
Imagine that would be fucking
Ursula,
hilarious.
Right? Like, I like that. Like, that makes me happy. I don't know if she can sing though. That's the only.
I don't know if she'll do it, but Bianca Del Rio as her.
Even like other just drag queens like that I'm thinking of from RuPaul's Drag Race, like just take the plunge.
I've also heard Billy Porter but yeah. So people have said that, like, oh, what if it's about like an evil black witch
or an evil white witch,
or an evil white witch stealing the voice and tormenting a thriving black society, and I'm like, that could be an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll go that route, just because
that's pretty radical.
I mean, I guess it's more just
it would be subtext. It would be subtext.
Yeah. It's more just, I guess, like, when you think about it, like, it's her dad that's sort of the problem, right? When it comes to Little Mermaid and her wanting to sort of, you know, be free and sort of all of that stuff. So I don't know if they necessarily make Ursula do that. It would be sort of interesting, just because, like, her dad is really, you know, the character that tries to take away her voice in a more metaphorical sort of sense. Like, he's a human, you're a mermaid, like all of that stuff, right? But Ursula does it in sort
I'm
of...
sorry, can you do that voice again? I don't understand, like, people have been throwing around Samuel L. Jackson's name or, like, Idris Elba. Why can't they get you to play Titan?
I know, obviously, no.
You're a mermaid!
But yeah, I don't know, it would be sort of interesting. It's also interesting because obviously, like, Triton and Ursula are related, like, especially in the musical, they sort of make a point that they're supposed to be sisters, right? And so siblings. Sorry.
Unless you play Triton.
No. I mean, Ursula and Morgana
right.
were supposed to be sisters, and then Triton was also supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so the way I rationalize Morgana, by the way, is that Morgana is their half sister, so she's not related directly to Triton because that would cause a bit of a weird sort of plot hole. But anyway, and so that would be sort of interesting.
One thing that I will say for a lot of the backlash that came out of this is that
I think it's dumb. I think it's really dumb.
I think it's dumb. It's incredibly dumb that people are upset, but I think that a lot of and I'm going to sound slightly conspiratorial.
Yeah, I want to get to something first before you go about your conspiracy theory. But I think it's also just like, I hate when people are like, this ruins my childhood.
Your childhood already happened.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, your childhood happened. It happened and it's over. Sorry, but it's sort of one of those things where it's like, do people not understand that the original source material doesn't disappear just because something new was made? And this was sort of my argument for even Death Note, even though Death Note was terrible.
Even that, right? I think after it happened, I was like really kind to it after time goes on.
And I don't know if we said this, but it's always funny when people are like, no, it doesn't matter that light and Misa are white. Like, you guys have to relax with all this whitewashing, but then you make a character black, and everybody's mad because it's not the same as the source. But you can make an Asian character, when it comes to anime, white, and people are just like, oh, well, you shouldn't complain, like, it's a new story, okay, relax, right? And so it's this weird sort of double standard, right? But with this, it's just like, the most important thing, again, is that she can sing. Okay, like that should be.
They got a talented black lady.
Because people were trying to be like, oh, you know who would be nice for Ariel? Cheryl from Riverdale, and I'm like, no. We have heard, no offense to her. Okay, but we have
I'm sure she's a lovely person.
We have heard the Riverdale musicals. Okay, so I don't know why y'all are trying to suggest, or just like other actors, right? Other actors that can't sing, and that just upsets me.
And also, like, typically they've gone like, because with Aladdin and
Naomi
Jasmine,
Scott, she can sing.
With Aladdin and Jasmine, they basically got, like, relative nobodies.
Yeah.
With Aladdin, at least. With the character Aladdin.
That's true.
So, like, I guess they're continuing that. Like, I'm sure they'll have, like, a big-name character to play, Ursula or King
I'm also
Triton
like, are they going to
maybe?
CGI Flounder and Sebastian?
They might.
And the fish? I don't know. Anyway, that's off topic. But yeah, like, in terms of them casting her, she can sing. That's most important. And people are going to be like, well, if it was a black character. So here's the other thing people are being like, oh, well, I guess we can make Tiana white now and Pocahontas white now. And I'm like, that argument came out of your mouth and you thought that was an okay thing to say?
Also, here's the thing. So, Tiana can be black and all of the white princesses
Tiana
can be white, and all of the white princesses can be black, and only after that will you realize that, oh yeah, the white Disney princesses could be whatever they want, but the black Disney princess, being black, was always part of her.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Tiana is denied her restaurant because she's a black woman, right? Okay, Pocahontas is a real fucking person. Mulan,
also, Pocahontas is a terrible
movie. Somebody was trying to say, like, oh, but Mulan could be set in Civil War America and it would be the same story, and I was just like...
Sure, but...
No!
I mean...
like, why would
don't call it Mulan!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying!
Call it, like, I don't know, Mary or some shit. But yeah, but it's
so
like...
that's what I'm saying. Even Moana, like, her heritage is relevant, okay? But for Snow White and for Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, it doesn't matter, right? And so that's what irks me, is that people can't seem to fundamentally understand that, like, you know, the characters' races matter to some extent for Tiana and the other characters. But for fairy tales, it really does not fucking matter, and you can make them whatever you want.
And here's the thing, though, like... they were making the argument like, well, what if Tiana?
The only
what if
white
Tiana
character's race that matters, I think, is like Hercules, but at the same time, there are people that are Greek that are also very much darker, and so that's pretty much.
Well, but like the bigger point with that is that like, well, because I feel like whenever white people get very upset about like a white character becoming black, it's like you're mistaking the loss of total control with persecution. Like there's still a lot of white characters. Like Tiana's, if you made Tiana black, made Tiana white, there would be no more black characters. Yeah. There's still plenty of white characters.
Like, I don't think Moana is like. I guess you would classify that as Asian, just because.
Polynesian.
Yeah, Polynesian, I guess, and then obviously.
It's not persecution. It's making things more even to have more characters, more Disney princesses.
And it's like, what if they just wanted her? Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, what if they're not? Like, what if they're not planning to sort of make it? You know, like, what if they're not planning to make it have an all-black cast? What if they just wanted the actress, right? Like, that should be okay. Like, there's so much talk of, but you should let writers tell the stories they want. If they want an all-white cast, you should let them. They don't need to include diversity. And I'm like, okay, like, what? Like, if you want to say that, sure. But what if they want to make her? But what if they want to make her black? That, like, what if they want a black, a black lead?
It takes place in the Caribbean. It makes a certain degree of sense.
Well, I guess it doesn't take place.
They're playing Calypso though, so like it makes a certain degree of sense.
I mean, they're under the water, and so even if the prince is like, who knows how far he traveled for his fucking birthday, and then she just swam over or whatever. And so I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, do people realize how stupid they sound when these words come out of their mouth?
I do think that Disney's happy about the controversy.
Oh well, yeah.
Because it's free advertisement for them.
Controversies are only bad if the people are right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the people arguing about it.
So when
are
Rooster
right.
Teeth, for example, had the crunch controversy, and some of the YouTubers like Unicornivore were like, "Hey, unionize your workers," right? That made Rooster Teeth look bad. Yeah. But the stupid racist people don't make Disney look bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? They make Disney more in the right. So obviously, that is.
You're making like a multinational corporation that probably doesn't really care about racial justice seem like a woke brand. And at the other side, like then it becomes like then your love of it makes people more excited for the Little Mermaid because now you're not just watching Little Mermaid. It's now become like performative that by watching the Little Mermaid or being hyped about Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid, you're like showing people how woke you are.
For me, I'm excited she gets sick. Like that's the most exciting. I'm like, hold the phone, everybody.
She's from an R&B
group. Aladdin was okay. He sung all right. Like he was okay. Naomi Scott, she was great. I don't like the pop filter, that heavy pop filter that they have during the live action movie. So I hope that they like dial it down on that a little. But it's like. She could sing. You know this is the only white character I want in this movie. The French chef, played by Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Awesome.
Oh, no, the French chef still has to be French.
You can be black and be French. I'm saying that he should just be Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Or just make like a really like aggressively French black guy.
Why not?
Like black, like he needs to dress like Black Waldo. Just red and white stripes.
Is that French?
I don't know. Waldo always looked very French.
You
red
think
and white
he looks
stripes.
French to you?
Yes, he
I feel
does.
like we've offended some poor French people.
Who cares if you offend the French people?
Anyway, and so like that's the only thing. Like Gordon Ramsay even replied and he's like, "Have you guys seen my acting?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm sure they would just tell you just be yourself."
Listen,
like that's
right?
basically.
Listen, like they got Emma Watson to.
Here's my sort of question. Right, Aladdin seems like they're setting up for Return of Jafar and Foy Face,
no.
Right? And so, okay, so hear me out. If
don't do it. Don't hurt me like this.
Little Mermaid 2,
no, please.
and Melody would be black, right? Or at least biracial, depending on Eric.
Okay.
Right? And so you'd have like a young, like black character.
Yeah, but then like the black girl would build a wall along the and like on the basis of our current political process, maybe that wouldn't be a great idea.
I mean,
straight up, if you want to see a fucked up movie, watch the sequel to The Little Mermaid because they straight up build a wall on the coast.
What if Eric's white and then he's the one who builds the wall to protect Melody? That would be nice. Because even like you see.
Oopsie doopsie, I married a racist.
No. But you see, Ariel wants to go back to the water. She like goes on the sand and puts her feet like tries to like hide it from everyone that she longs from the sea. So that could be like a plot point that Eric thinks that what he's doing is protecting, but he's really, you know, making everyone sad or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he's making everyone sad. I see what you're doing. It could be, I don't know how to explain this, but it's sort of like when you date someone that is of a different race than you and you're sort of trying to insert yourself to protect them, but you're not doing necessarily the best job. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know how to sort of explain it.
When you're trying to be, I don't think the race thing was a good idea, but like when you're trying to defend someone, but
no, I sort of mean like in terms of couples.
Okay.
Like, one of my friends, they're black and I think it's their wife is white.
Yes.
And I don't know how to explain this correctly, but their wife will sort of get into conversations like about like race and stuff and think that she's doing a good job. You know what I mean? And she's you know, her intentions are good. Her heart's in the right place, but it's like no, you know what I mean? So that's sort of what I mean. Like maybe Eric could be that sort of character. I think that would be sort of interesting if its heart is in the right place, but it's like no, they long.
Don't build a wall.
Don't build the wall. Well, at the end of the movie, they take the wall away. So wouldn't that be a nice message? Right at the end of the movie, Melody and Ariel, they both grab the trident, I think, and destroy the wall. Yeah, that would work.
Also, how the fuck would you build a wall on a sand beach next to water?
Well, there's metal bars at the bottom.
Well, yeah, but like the erosion must be terrible.
Listen, I don't know how they did it. Okay, it was just.
Anyways.
But yeah. And so this was two white people talk to you about
race,
black casting choices.
For 20 minutes. We're very pro it. Will the movie be good? I mean, the live action remakes have been good and bad.
I think they're getting better slowly, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like Aladdin was good, but then Dumbo apparently wasn't very good, and like Lion King might not be great. So, who knows if it's good or not. But yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda's attached, so like shit, this might actually be good.
I just wanted to sort of make a video being like, people are stupid. Obviously, like, this has our support, you know what I mean? And me as like sort of a giant Disney fan. And all that stuff.
And if you are bitching about it, you might only be like helping Disney out in the long run.
Yeah, so like, fuck y'all. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys had fun, I guess.
Hopefully.
We talked about some ideas. I mean, for the sequel, I like
Are they really gonna do...
What about the Little Mermaid 3 where it's like Footloose?
The prequel where it's Footloose? Yeah, where they just steal... It's the plot of Footloose, but it takes place under the sea.
Yeah, so what if they do that too? And then Ariel has a bunch of sisters? Like, because she already has a bunch of sisters, but it's like the movie is sort of surrounded by her and her sisters trying to bring, like, music back and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Who do you think should play King Trident? Other than you.
Other than me. I don't know.
I felt Lizzo. I've heard Lizzo.
I think it would be interesting for Trident to be white if Ursula is also white, and then have Ariel's mom be black.
Black woman? Okay.
Just also for the plot of The Little Mermaid 3 and all that stuff, and so... We won't talk about that too much. It's a little complicated, but basically...
Can Gordon Ramsay be Trident? Can Gordon Ramsay play all America? He can be the French chef, he can be Prince Eric, he can be... Just Ramses across the board.
Oh, dear Hunter. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye,
so
guys.
could Ursula.
Oh, dear. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'm just going to take a moment here to thank our patrons over on Patreon and our Discord server moderators who are a part of our community. Pals at the $2 tier get exclusive access to our video scripts. They get exclusive access to our schedules, updates, polls, the live podcast, and the chat to ask questions for our monthly Q&A. They also get a name feature at the end of every video. At the beginning of every month, CalPals will be able to vote for me to watch the first episode of whatever anime or cartoon that they want. This encourages us to watch some cool new anime that maybe we've never seen before, and if we enjoy it enough, we may put it up in a poll to replace one of our weekly show rotations. The Caterpillars at the $5 tier have access to all previous rewards, and they also have access to our videos a week in advance early access, so that's a week early before they are released onto YouTube. And there's also a special reward. Patrons at this tier will get access to an exclusive reaction series that'll be posted for patrons and patrons only. It will not be public to YouTube until after it's finished and another Patreon exclusive series has started. So basically, the patrons get their own anime reaction series of whatever anime that they vote for, and it's just for them. It won't be on YouTube, so it's totally for patrons and to the benefit of all of the wonderful patrons who support us at this tier. The Calxiyn have access to all previous rewards, exclusive access to our videos as soon as they're ready, and so in the past this has been, say, 14 days, so 2 weeks in advance, sometimes 30 days in advance, so like a month early, sometimes they've been 60 days in advance, so imagine getting to watch the videos on our channel basically 2 months before anyone else, because it does happen depending on how much Hunter and I pre-record in advance. They also have the ability to invite one of their friends into the Discord server without them needing to pledge on Patreon, so if you have a friend that loves the cartoons that we react to, or the anime we react to, or, the video games, cartoons, and anime we do discussion videos on, you can bring them as a part of our community without them having to need to pledge. But they also get a special reward, and this is 3 video tickets. So these can be used to request videos. 1 ticket equals 10 minutes, so if you guys have seen, we've done a lot of shipping video requests, we've done a lot of reaction requests that say pay Patreon video in the brackets, and so those are videos that patrons have used their tickets on to get us to do for them. The Calzones have access to the Calzone, which is a special reward for this tier that I'll explain in a moment, but they get access to all previous rewards. They get 6 video tickets, which would be long enough for, say, 2 anime episode reactions, or 6 10-minute videos, so 6 shipping videos, for example, 6 discussion videos if they're all 10 minutes long, and they also have the ability to invite 2 of their friends into the Discord server without them needing to pledge on Patreon. And they will also get access to the VIP chat since they are a VIP, and so that is where the Calzone comes in. The Calzone is our VIP text chat on Discord. We also do a monthly VIP-only voice call. Let's just take a small break here to thank the moderators on my Discord server. So they obviously help out a lot with moderating and setting up events for the community and just being, generally good parts of the community to have around. So I just wanted to include this little bit in between all the patrons to just sort of thank them for their work, thank them for helping out in my community, and all that sort of stuff. The Calxiyn have access to all previous rewards, 15 video tickets, the ability to add me as a friend on Discord so I can go ahead and make a private group chat with them so they have direct private access to us, the ability to invite 3 of their friends onto the Discord server without them needing to pledge on Patreon. Those friends will also get access to the VIP chat as well, and their special reward is auto-hosting their live streams on my Twitch and being able to promote their videos in the Discord server. The Catastrophes have access to all previous rewards, 30 video tickets, access to my private Instagram, Snapchat, and a private group with just Hunter and I. They have the ability to invite 5 of their friends into the Discord server without them needing to pledge over on Patreon, and those friends will also get access to the VIP chat since at the $100 tier you are of course a VIP. For the special reward, we would make videos and collaborate together, so we could write the script together, record the lines together, edit and post the video on my channel. They would be sort of credited and all of their links would be posted in the description and all of that normal stuff that you would expect from a collaboration like this. But obviously it is a very special project because it would be, from a patron, it would be sort of a community project, and that's why it's one of my favorite special rewards. So again, one big thank you to all the patrons over on Patreon who help keep the channel alive. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.